All right, folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. Once again, this is another video, and I thought that this video should be made most especially for my paid mentees, but I thought to bring it to the public mentorship community for the benefit of those that cannot identify these things. All right. So, what is that in backtesting? Right. This is a problem that many of my students have always had, right? They cannot backtest or they are not willing to backtest, right? So this video is just to expose the secrets on how to backtest and why you should backtest. So let's start with the reason why you should backtest, right? There are reasons in which you should backtest. So we'll bring it out. Uh, right. So backtest. This is what the class is about, right? Now, I want to give you reasons why you should backtest. The first reason you should backtest is what practice makes perfect, right? There's no point teaching you a certain concept which you are not familiar with and you do not backtest it. There's no point with there's no point doing that, right? So backtesting is very necessary, right? Because with backtesting, you're able to practice the things that is being taught, right? You're able to identify these things and then it becomes part of your consciousness. This is why you should backtest. The practice makes perfect. More, for instance, if I'm teaching you divergences, all right, you should go to your charts and look for divergences because the more you see these things, the more you become perfect with regards to that concept, right? So it's not point someone teaching you something and you just wave it off and what you're looking for is you're not looking for it in a live trade. You're looking for the thing that's been taught on a live trade, right? And the bad part about that is that emotions are bound to make you not see this thing because you do not practice. It's like learning how to run when it's time to run the race, right? Maybe you have a running competition maybe next month and you refuse to practice before then. So it's now when it is time to run, that's when you practice how to run. It doesn't make any sense, right? So backtesting is important because practice makes perfect. You're able to identify these things and identify them. And the second reason you should back test is that you are able to know the pairs to trade and the pairs not to trade. You know pairs to trade. This is it. That's why you should back test because you're able to know the pairs to trade. For instance, from back testing, I can tell you that the euro dollar is very responsive to price action, to smart money concepts, and to market structure. I can tell you that the GJ, that is British pounds against the Japanese yen, is more volatile than EU. I can tell you that gold is not really responsive to market structure because gold is more sentimentally and fundamentally driven, right? So it responds more to fundamental analysis, all those behind the desk reasons, whatever. It's not, that's why sometimes gold violates market structure, right? It is not very good for someone that is more of a technical trader, right? It's best for people that trade a fundamental analysis, all those stuff, right? But with other assets like EU, you may not necessarily be much of a fundamental trader, right? And I know this because I have tested this. So you know the pairs to trade and the ones not to trade. You should know the ones that move quicker. For instance, the USD card is not very volatile. So I bet it is also responsive to price action. We have Bitcoin very slow, like it does not really move so fast, and that's why I don't read it, right? So using backtesting, you're able to know the pairs that you should focus on and the pairs that you should avoid. Like I avoid gold now. I avoid gold by any means. If gold is to the left, I'm going to the right. If gold is I'm going to the left, right? I'm also saying that you should do the same. You should backtest if you're a fundamental trader, and maybe okay, and all that. So now, why? I will give the third reason why you should what backtest. The third reason you should backtest is that third reason you should backtest after you have made getting perfect, you have known the pairs to trade and the pairs not to trade, then you can now know if your strategy works. You know if your strategy actually works. So if you are buying a strategy, a pattern or whatever, right? If you're buying a strategy, a course, whatever, the first thing you should do is to backtest. You shouldn't just start trading live funds with your strategy, right? If it's harmonic pattern you trade, you're able to know if it works or not by doing what's backtesting. You don't have to blow your account to know if it works. You have the access to data as far as 5 years on your charts. So when you're having 5 years on your charts, then you should make use of it. You have access to 5 years data, 5 years. So there's no point you coming to, um, um, use your life funds, your hard-earned life funds to test if your strategy works, right? So this is how you know it. So this is to my paid mentorship students. If you're in Elektronfx, the first thing I want to do is to backtest. You don't just come trading the things I'm telling you, right? So that's why I always seek some funny questions like, "Sir, should I is there a recommendation that someone, what do you think about it, Sha?" All those funny questions is because you don't backtest, right? You cannot be a good smart money trader when you are not backtesting. How then would you know if it works or not? How then are you able to train your eyes to see moves before they happen? So now I post on trades and they're like, "Ah, sir, you didn't show us." But I'm teaching you what I see, what I look like, what I look at, right? Rather, right? So you should backtest. So this is my paid mentorship students, most especially. Please backtest. And when you don't backtest and you come and ask me funny questions, it simply means that you're not backtesting, you're not serious, right? So now let's go to the charts, right? So we have finished talking about that. So these are the three reasons you should backtest. It makes it perfect. You know the pairs to trade, and then you know if your strategy works or it doesn't. And you know the pairs that respond to your strategy, right? If it's EU that responds best, then stick to EU, whatever, right? USD chair, whatever. Just learn to backtest different assets. Whichever one is um, playing out or panning out perfectly, you choose those ones and you disregard others, right? You mustn't do everything. Just choose what gives you money, right? Just one pair can give you so much money, can make you rich. Right? So if you imagine you cut your AUD sell from your AU, like you cut all this stuff, you mustn't necessarily trade every asset to make money, right? So that's it. So now let us look at backtest. Now, when you're backtesting, you have certain things that you're looking for, right? There are certain things you're looking for when you're backtesting. So whenever you're backtesting, you must make up your mind on what you're backtesting. So that is the first rule of backtesting. You make up your mind on what you're backtesting, and then you look at for only that thing. If it's market structure, then you look at for only market structure. If it's divergences, you're looking for only divergences. If it's harmonic patterns, you're looking for only harmonic patterns. You're training your eyes to see this. You can go as far back as 1 year or 2 years or whatever you're comfortable with. If it's imbalances, then you backtest that, right? I don't trade Aussie dollar, so that's why I'm using it, right? So I can backtest on it and see if it's a trade pair, right? Right, folks? So now I want to backtest on two things. I want to backtest on two things. And what are the two things? Lower time frame entries and divergences. Right? Lower time frame entries. These are things I want to backtest on. Lower time frame. I'll just do two examples and then we wrap it up, right? Lower time frame entries and divergences. These are the two things I want to backtest. Divergences. These are the two things: lower time frame entries and divergences, right? So this is it. So looking at this has a backtest, right? If you have the paid um, they paid today, you can simply use the jump to, take it back, take it front, you just mark everything. Look at what I'm doing now. So if you have the paid one, I will still show you how to do for the free one, right? So if you have a paid trading view, you just put it and then you can mark up your charts and watch how price pans out. It's not as if it's a live chart, right? Because it's not live, right? You can just do your strategy and watch it play out, right? So so that is it, right? So that's how to do it. So I want to show you because I know not everyone has the paid trading view, right? So people are using the free version, and that is not a challenge, right? That's not a challenge, right? So I want to teach you that. So now, if you're using the one that is not paid, you can simply do it this way, right? So the first thing you can, since you don't have a paid one, right, you can simply make sure that the candles are covered, right? The candles are covered like this point, right? Or if you don't want to do that way, just follow what I'm doing. So you can cover the past, the crescent, and then you mark up your chart, and then you do this. It's still looking like what? Looking like the jump to. It's one of the, it's as if I am using the replay button. Just this. Just keep scrolling to the left slowly, all of that. So now back to what I was teaching. I want to teach about, I want to see how to identify what lower time frame entries and what divergence. So look at this pair. This pair was what? It's time for the bigger time frame, right? I'm not showing you how I backtest or how to backtest, right? So look at this pair. This pair was what? Bullish. So I had a higher high, higher low. I had a kind of higher high here, and then a higher low. And then what? It break down. Market broke a possibly. Then we had this lower high and then this lower low. So I want to backtest on this point, right? So I can see a kind of institutional candle here. Took out what? Stop loss. Took out stops. From where the stops I'm looking at, took out stops. So this was a kind of supply zone. Took out all this trend line liquidity and then sold and giving us what we break of structure, right? So I'm like trying to look at for what entries that were occurred inside this zone, right? So I've marked it out. So now, first I'm looking for divergences, right? So let me see if I can bring in my indicator and see if there was a regular, a hidden bearish divergence at that point, right? So let me bring up my RSI, right? So so I've put in my RSI now. So now remember divergence rules. So I'm looking out for a difference here. So look at this. This is look at what's happened there. Look at this. So the divergence was also supporting this. So look at this. There was a regular bearish, a hidden bearish divergence, right? Because this thing was not this thing is saying that price went higher than that. There was a higher high here, but there was no higher high here. So this was a bearish divergence, telling us that what price is weak. So I've seen the divergence here. So it's prompting me that there's going to be a sell there, all right? So now I can remove my arrow side too. So now I delete this too. So now I'm looking at for what next is what lower time frame entries. How would I have got this in this point here? So now I've already marked the whole zone I'm looking at, and I can go to the smaller time frame. Remember, you mark the place you're looking at, and then you go back to the smaller time frame, and then you go to that same point, right? So this is what I was looking at for that cell, right? This is the whole area I was looking at on the daily time frame. Have you seen how I've come to the smaller time frame? Now I'm looking at what? I'm looking at structure at this point, right? I'm looking at structure. How would I have captured this cell, right? So now I'm looking at the 4-hour structure. So how would I have gotten this? All right. So, right. So looking at the structure of this market on this time frame, I can see market was trading higher, have a higher high, higher low, then our higher high, our higher low, and then our higher high, and then was a break of structure, right? So let me go to the smaller time frame to see if there was an entry. Now I'm going towards the 2-hour. Have you seen how I'm doing it? I'm going from bigger time frames to smaller time frames. Start with the bigger ones to keep going lower and lower and lower. All right. So now I'm up to the 2-hour. I'm in the 2-hour time frame now. I'm still in that zone, right? Now looking at the 2-hour, look at this, right? Right, folks. Now look at the 2-hour. Market is still bullish, but I can see that something actually played out at this point here. Right. Now let me go to the 30 minutes time frame. You keep going lower until you can see something clear. Was there a lower time frame entry or was there not a lower time frame entry, right? You still go back to that place you backed. All right, so look at this. I'm looking at this now. I'm trying to see if I would have gotten an entry on the channel. I can see that 30 minutes was kind of clear. All right, so look at 30 minutes. Let me delete this so I can see where the entry was given. Right, you must have to go from the bigger time frame to the smaller ones. Right, so all right, folks. So I can see kind of higher, higher low. Yeah, this thing was not visible on 30 minutes, right? So you can see this, and I can see a break of structure at this point here. Look at what the market did. So there was a break here. Market went below the previous market went below the previous higher low, right? So how can I confirm that with the BS? Simple. I go to my line charts. So line charts on it. So I will look at it clearly. Price clearly traded below the last higher low. So you can see price closed below the last higher low. So it was a break of structure here. Very clear break of structure there. So now we can go back to our line charts, our candle chart. So that was BOS at that point there. Market traded below it. So that was BOS there. So and how since I saw the BOS there, I was looking for sell. And now I can see that was liquidity sweep at this point here. This point that was a candle that sold liquidity. And where was the buy move? This was the candle that I was looking for my entry. This candle here. This candle really was it took out stop loss, took out grab liquidity and then sold it down, giving what that break of what structure. And what did the price do? You can see that price clearly did what? Price traded back into that candle, right? This candle. So if I was looking at that, I saw this BS, I would have just simply placed my sell limits here. So sell limit should have been just here at the lower week of that candle, right? Because I had a week, and then my stop loss would have been where? My stop loss would have simply been where? Where would I have been? Just above the candle wick, right? Just there. So this is the lower time frame entry. And where would I be targeting for my first take for profit? I'm targeting this low, right? This low right here, I'm targeting this low for my take profit. So would have been a 1 is to what? 1 is to 5.8, and you can see price kind of ranged a bit. And did it hit TP? Yeah, I did. So it kind of ranged a bit, and that would have been the first entry, right? So that was beautiful. So you can see how these things are panning out. Right? Some people are saying that we're targeting it from raw TPR. The target hit, yep, it hits. Or what I'm targeting was the this imbalance, right? Just above this imbalance, because I see an imbalance just here. Right. So they don't want to go that candle. I'm targeting the open of this imbalance, right? So I'm not targeting the open of this imbalance just there. So this would have been faster. 1 is to 3, and the price is yep, just there. So we have just in this range, and then it's ETP. That is it. You start from the bigger time frame, you strip down, and you keep stripping down. You strip down to the smallest time frame, in which you can find the possible entry, right? So I've showed you one example of divergence and what lower time frame entry, right? So let me take off all this lipstick, right? And let us look at another pair. I'll just do two examples and then I call the day, right? Use understand what I did. I started from the bigger time frame, lower time frame, and then I started stripping it down to the smallest time frame possible to see where I would have gotten the entry with benefit of what hand size, right? So let me look for another asset. I don't trade. Let me use which asset should I use again? Card JPY. I don't trade card JPY. Most asset I've not traded before, right? So daily time frame, I'm showing you something. Hey folks, this is how you do it. So you always do back testing. You can never grow above back testing. Always back test, right? You should back test every weekend. So whenever the week is done, always look out for how you would have contracts for that week, right? So the trade that you missed. Just look at the pairs you trade, have a watch list. And look at this is my watch list, right? These are the pairs I trade, EU, GU. I don't even trade all. I use two of them because they're correlating, because GU and EU are correlated. So I use them to know which one I should be trading and which one is correlating, which one is diverging, and stuff like that, right? So I can't teach more of that. If you want to learn more of that, come to my join our private mentorship, right? So I can't teach on YouTube, right? Because there are copyright information and all of that, right? So that is it. So before I continue, let me also use the opportunity to advertise. Our mentorship program is still ongoing, and we just integrated our account. We got approval from Paystack, so we have a Paystack approval, right? We have a Paystack approval, and the Paystack approval allows you to join from wherever, because people had issues with paying to join a mentorship program in the time past, right? So you can join from anywhere in the world now, anywhere you are, anywhere in the world. You can join using Paystack. Our Paystack platform is available, and we're giving a discount, right? Our mentorship program is supposed to be 35,000 naira using the Nigerian naira. So 35,000 naira using the Nigerian naira, which is which was about $58, right, or thereabout, right? So $58 was how much it was. It's a one-time fee. I don't have time for the current payments. So one-time fee. This was the original price. So $8 or thereabout, or about 60. Let's say 60. Oh yeah, let's say 68, right? I don't know the calendar that, right? By giving a discount 10,000 naira off. So the discount runs from now to Friday midnight. And Friday, the date of Friday should be around, I don't know, today is 9th of August 2022. So just add 4 days. Okay, it should be around 13th or 12th, right? Just whatever Friday date is, that is the day it's expiring. So we're giving a discount to 25,000 naira, right? So 25K, and you're in. It's a one-time payment. Or whatever it is in dollars. So should I just okay, I'm commonly just calculate what it is in dollars. So I'll just divide 25,000 by the current rate of dollar, right? So coming it's 5 divided by 660. Sorry, right, I'm using 600 now. So 25,000 divided by 600, right? $41, right? Approximately 41. So the discount is from that to $41, right? So $41.6. So you can use, if you want to join, use the link, use the Paystack link in the description, right? Use the Paystack link. You can pay with your credit card. I use the Paystack link in the description. So it's a one-time payment and all of that. So these are our discounts. So use the pay stack link in the description. It's a paid service discount you're giving. All right. So just use the link in the description to join our mentorship program. So one-time payments, you should have been discounts, sorry. So discounts. So it expires on the 13th or whatever Friday is, 13th, 12th. Should I think it's 13th. Let me just check my calendar to confirm. So it's a public group. Don't have to check Friday's date. Today is Tuesday. Okay, yeah, it's 12th. So it expires on the 12th, of August 2020. So after this, I'll be revoking the link of the pay stack discount. All right. So have fun. Now, card GPY. So I'm trying to look out for where I would have gotten the lower time frame entry, right? So let's see. So looking at card GPY was bullish. So I'm going to look out for where I would have gotten an entry on the buy. I'm looking at this, I'm looking at past data to see where I would have gotten a good setup for a buy. All right, so I'm looking at this. So the last down candle before you break to the upside, right? Trying to see how I would have got this buy. Trying to see how I got this buy. Okay, let me just mark this whole zone. Right, I also have got this buy around this impulsive buy. Right, this market was bullish. It was a bullish market, higher high, higher low. What was I would have called this buy? So now let me see that was a divergence there. First, I'm looking for a divergence on the either the daily or the 4 hour. Right, so I'm looking for a divergence now. Right, so looking for a divergence. So I'm looking for a divergence. Right, so because so I'm bringing my RSI, my relative strength index. I'm looking for a divergence there. I want to catch this, but I want to be using that to confirm. Remember, I'm looking at for divergences and growth. Right, so looking at this, I can see that on my indicator, was there a divergence here? Yep. Let's see, there was divergence here. No, there was no divergence at this point, so it does not align with what I'm looking for. So let's look for another area. I'm going to look at where my divergences are aligned with the buy for a sell, right? All right, folks. So, okay, I'm looking at something now. Trying to see where I'm causing a good buy on this pair. I'm looking at where the divergence played out, and there was a good setup, right? Let me just delay this for now so I can look at clearly, right? KGPY has not been delivering so well. Okay, can see something here. Okay, I see something here. Oh, let me bring up my other side tool again. Right, so my RSI technicals, my relative strength index. So RSI. So I need to see if there was divergence there. Looking for divergences and lower time frame entries, right? All right, so folks, okay, okay. I can see something here. Okay, I can see a bearish divergence here. So look at this. Look at what indicator was giving. This is a case of a bearish scenario, right? I'm just trying to see if we would have got this counter trade. Right, so look at this. See, there was market was making a low on the RSI and price was making a high. So this is a regular bearish divergence, right? So we should have looking at for what sell ideas, right? To catch yourself, right? Although I don't really support counter trades, but I'm just trying to give an example. KGPY. I don't trade KGPY. I don't even like the price delivery. That's what I can see here, right? So divergence there, daily time frame. So let's treat that for 4 hours. So I'm looking at for a sell inside this zone, right? This I want to capture this sell down, right? So I've marked the area I'm looking at for, then I strip to the next time frame, the 4 hour. Remember I marked here, so I'm going to say I would have caught this sell, right? So I can't really see anything of interest there, so I go to 2 hour, right? You keep stripping down till you find something of interest, right? So now I'm going to say I would have captured is this any of this stuff, right? I already see something here, 1 hour. So keep stripping down, keep stripping down, keep stripping down until you find something that is clear, right? Let's assume we want to catch this sell here. Right, so I'm looking at this. Okay, I'm looking at this chart. Okay, okay. 45 minutes. I'm going to see how I've got this, right? I'm not really seeing something clear on that time frame, right? This is a counter trend trade. I'm showing you this also works on counter trend trades, right? So we don't end at 45 minutes, right? I don't want to go to 5 minutes. This is not applies. You can use 5 minutes, whatever. Because if I use 5 minutes, it will be so difficult for me to get to the point because the candles have really gone a bit far at that point, right? So looking at this time frame, I can't really see a clear structure. I can't really see a clear break, right? There was a failure swing there. Like, look at this. There was a failure swing. What do I mean? Price could not. This is why it's also failure swing higher high. Price could not make a new higher high. So the failure swing there. Price then broke lower, right? So where is the obvious higher low I can find here? I would say that the last is I could see it buy. Now that was where the actual BOS happened. I can see there was a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then an impulsive buy for a higher high. This was where the BOS happened. Markets clearing this little demand zone. This was where there was actually a break of structure, right? And let us say I would have got this sell, right? So it was the BOS at this point. The market broke down. So you're looking at for what? A range, right? So looking at this, I'm looking at this since certain entries. So since we could not capture because there was no clear break of structure, this was why it happened. So we now start looking at for what the current ranges, right? So how would we have got this sell? So market was trading down, trading lower, down, down. Let me see. Um, this would have been a nice opportunity. A smart money cube from the price broke lower, giving us what a structural reason to sell. So we had SND zone would have entered the broke down and then price went lower. Then I'm trying to say we have got another sell. Look at another sell here. There was a demand zone here. I did what? It broke lower. So it broke the structure went lower. Price came back there, went lower, right? We had another one there. So look at this one too. Market did what? Took our stops here. Yeah, gave this institutional candle. This buy candle took our stop loss. Market came back there, what? Broke lower. So we had another an opportunity there. So how buy has been doing, right? It has been doing that. So CAD wasn't so clear. I think as soon as I look at another pair that was clearer, right? I don't do that. So I automatically seen that CAD is a no-no for me. So let's try USD check, right? Let's look at USD check to see if you give it a very clear structure, right? Can you USD check? What is this? Okay, someone using this to give a teaching, right? Okay, this was the chart I used to give a backtesting example, right? So let's move on to indicators. So here's the check. We're trying to see if we have captured a buy or sell, whatever, right? So you can see this very clearly. So here's the chef. Look at this. There was a very clear break of structure here. Look at it. There was a break here. Very clear break of structure there. Right. You wouldn't have really seen the divergence here, right? Let us see something. Right. So let's see if there was a divergence here. So there was a break of structure here. So we are looking for what is sell. Right. Let's see if we have captured this sell. So we bring us our two and we're looking at for what divergences, right? So RSI, RSI, strength index. So I'm looking for I thought I was looking for the divergences and what break of structure, right? So looking for the virtues and what entries, right? So looking at this, uh, couldn't, I couldn't really find a divergence here. So there was no divergence at this one. So that one does not pan out, but I can still see very clear break of structure. So I would have looked at for what is said inside this zone, right? This last buy candle, like an order block or something of that sort. Right, there was also imbalance supporting it or whatever. So there was a kind of liquidity sweep. Look closely, follow me, please. 4 hours, let's go to 4 hours. We see something there. I'm seeing something very beautiful there. All right, so, all right, folks, follow me. Wow, price delivered well, amazing. So, you can see that was a liquidity sweep here. So, this was a kind of interest. Liquidity market board took our stop plan there, trade lower. You can see there was imbalances here. Support and price may consider the imbalances here. Supporting was this sell, right? So, price came back to the order block. Let's sell would have gotten an entry, right? Looking at this, all right, so look at this. I can't really find an entry in 4 hours. Remember, I look at it, go to the smaller time frame, 2 hours. So looking for how would have gotten an entry in that point, right? Right, folks? Just follow me. All right, follow me. All right, this is amazing, amazing, amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I can see what a higher higher, higher high, higher low, higher high, but and higher low, and then what market made a new higher high. Amazing. So look at this chart now. You can see that there was very clear break of structure at this point here. The market broke structure here, and let's see what the divergence there too. So the divergences are not only bigger time frame, consider that on small time frame. So we're looking for what divergences are entries, right? So RSI, let's see what the divergence inside it. Let's see. Was there a divergence there? Look at our indicator now. Follow me, folks. Look at this. So very clear there was a divergence there. So you can see that price was doing what? It was trading higher on the short time chart. And what was price doing on the indicator? What it was doing what? It was trading lower. So there was a clear divergence here supporting the sell bias, right? So now we have that the first confluence. Now we're looking at for what sells. So remember, I'm looking at this closely. Folks, follow me. Look at this very closely. Let's maybe expand this and then make delete this, right? So let's look at our zone. We're looking at so right. So we had that market trade higher and break structure, right? So we're looking at that last consecutive buy candles that took our stop loss. So these are the buy candle took our stop loss. So if you are trying to catch this, or maybe you are you have just let's assume that you want to 50% of this whole buy move, right? So let's say if you got an entry, 50% would have been somewhere like missed that entry. So if you played maybe the open on this buy move, right? Because this was like one consecutive move. I took our stop loss and then they did lower. So there was a break of structure here, market did what went higher and then broke down. So if you play the open of this, remember this is a daily setup, right? If you play the open of this, all right, so they now have already gotten a small time frame entry on this chart. So if you play open of this, stop loss, which is that break of structure, that's displacement. Stop loss at both, and your targeting was the daily low. Remember that the daily low we're looking at, that daily low was somewhere down. This was that low. Here's the daily low, right? So somewhere around there. And this was that daily low. So they made a whooping. This was kind of equal low. They made a whooping sum of 1 is to 4.79, right? So that would have been the overall trade profits, and you got a lower time frame entry on the 2 hour, right? Using daily time frame, right? So I want to see if we have gotten an entry on the small time frame that 2 hour. Let's try 1 hour and see if we have gotten an entry on 1 hour. Right? So this is how to backtest. So this is not applicable to anyone. We can use on 5 minutes, but I can't use 5 minutes here because of data. Because I have to scroll. So I take a lot of. This is applicable on 5 minutes chat. So you have to just have to be patient enough. It will take you some time, but believe me, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. So take you some time to keep doing this, scrolling. But what you're doing is you're training your eyes to see what to see. Right. So trying to go back to that point and was that why did it vanish? Okay, so yeah. All right, so this is the point I was looking at. So is it? All right, so it's an amazing one. We missed high. The rest with the open of this beautiful stop above this high. Let's see what I've gotten in another opportunity. Right? Imagine we miss that first sell. Remember our daily TP is all the way down, right? Assume we got another entry. Assume we got another entry. Let's assume that we got what happened now. Right, so let's undo whatever was done. So back to the this Swiss franc auto. Right, so let's assume I will miss that first sell, right? Because that sell was not so clear. So let's assume we miss that first sell. Let us see how remember our daily TP is all the way to the daily low, right? So if you miss the first opportunity, that's something like you have missed everything, all right? So you can still keep looking for other sell opportunities. So looking at this, I cannot really find any sell opportunity here until this point, right? So I can see that there was also remember it's a daily time frame sell, so there was a liquidity sweep here. This buy candle to took a stop loss and then broke lower. So this was doing a candle of interest, this three candles there. So look at this three candles, doing a very quick candle for entry. supply zone with growth structure. Remember our TP is on daily low, so you can still keep catching cells up steadily. So those are the needs. So I mean, sort of just maybe measure the 50% of that whole move. So if you pay 50%, you have just tap it beautifully and you're in, right? If you play the open of that candle, the last buy candle, whatever, let's see, this open of the candle activated. So you have still got an entry here. So I can see that here this Swiss franc is actually delivering properly. Have you seen it? So look at another entry here. You can see this showing you the what time is now. So you can see this can be swap all this to up, all this liquidity and then broke down. So you must see that sweep and new break or something. So this would have been my candle of interest. This can be stop loss and very high. And then I'm targeting this low. Right. So the price it is, yeah, I did. So this was a lot of targeting this low here. Targeting this low, short term, and then the daily low for variable people. So it's a price it is it. Right. So that's how you do your lower time. Do a back test. So you can go as far as 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want. So 1 minute. So not come and tell me I don't know how to make entries. Go to your shop and find out how it's in pan out. Look at the pairs that respond well. And based on what I can see that USD chef responds well the market structure, right? It responds better than the previous one, which we look at, which was CAT-JPY, all right? So this is how to do your back testing. And if you have any questions, if you want to join your conversation, if you want to join our mentorship program, hit the link in the description, all right? So until next time, please be safe.